pride be the reason that you lose. Don't let pride be the reason that you lose. What's up, y'all? This is the Plain Black Rapper Podcast, and I'm your host, Nytelife. Thank you for joining me today. I know I've been gone a couple of weeks, but, going through the mental rigors of just trying to live life and not having the content that I wanted to provide. I wanted to make sure that I had good stuff to be able to share with y'all. So took me a little hiatus for a minute, but now I'm back and ready to go. Please make sure, if you're following us on YouTube, make sure that you subscribe. Make sure that you download, make sure that you comment, share it. If you are following on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, make sure that you download and you subscribe there as well. And I'll take comments. I have polls and stuff that go up. So please make sure that you're interactive with the platform. I need to know what I'm doing good, what I'm not doing so good. If it's something that y'all into, if this is passable, whatever, let me know what's going on. I want to hear. Because I feel like it's very important to be able to get that type of feedback. Now, kind of going into what was going on in the last couple of weeks, I did not necessarily feel like myself. I looked at my situation, and sometimes when you are in work or you're in a funk, you go to work. I felt like I was comfortable. I wasn't there to impress, and I wasn't there to demand respect. I didn't dress like I demanded respect. I was too comfortable. I was too laid back. I wasn't really locked in the way that I was supposed to. When I was doing the things that I needed to do for myself, when I got home, I was really tired, mentally exhausted, didn't want to put in the time to what I was doing. That suffered as far as me being able to create. It did not allow me to be able to put the focus in the things that I wanted to. And then I started thinking, it's like, the problem is I'm not thinking like I'm a CEO. Regardless of what it is that you're doing, I'm the CEO of this podcast. I'm the CEO when I go to work and I manage my staff. I'm the CEO of my staff. When I'm doing music, I'm the CEO of recording my music, with creating my music, with engineering my music. When I'm on the Gauntlet B battle, I'm the CEO of being a judge at that particular time. And it's like, you have to be able to have that presence and command yourself to get that respect and attention. And I think if you don't carry yourself in that manner, it's really easy for people to pass you off as nonchalant or not being that serious, or not being a serious outfit, as they say. I think that you have to make sure that you're in a situation where people demand your respect. They understand where you're coming from. They feel where you're coming from. They, respect where you're coming from. Those things are all very, very important. And so I got up this morning. I went back to putting the shirt and the tie on, slacks, went into work, had my head up, looked like I was somebody important, was treated like I was somebody important, and really commanded that respect when I talked to people, and then got it back. So understanding that, it's like I have to be able to do that in every facet of what I do, because sometimes you just be in these situations where you're just too comfortable. You just accept things. You accept things being lackadaisical. You accept things being lazy. You expect things being, being a procrastinator. You just expect, you let it go. It's just not even on your radar. It's just like, I'll get it tomorrow, and tomorrow's here, and you got to figure that out. And it also made me think about recalibrating. And I know we talked about goal setting before, but just finding what my North Star was. I need to understand what my North Star is. North Star, just your guiding principles, where you're going. A lot of companies try to indoctrinate that into their principles and how they relate to people. But I adopted that too, because I think it's very important for me to have a North Star. My understanding where your North Star is understanding that you have dreams, you have goals, you have aspirations, is where you want to go. So when you have that happening, sometimes you got to be able to take an objective look and figure out where your glaring deficiencies are in regards to not only you dreaming, but you going about trying to achieve your dreams. And I had a restricting mentality of conditions that I put on myself, and it was if, it wasn't when. If I do this, if I, if I get up and exercise, I'll lose weight. If I go out here and I record enough content, I'll get the viewers that I want to get, and I'll get the listeners that I want to get. If I record enough music and I put enough music out there and I promote enough, then I will get the feedback and I will get the sales that I want. But the problem with that is it's if, it's not when, or it's not finite. It's not something where you just locked in. I'm doing this. This is mine. I'm claiming this. I'm here. I'm him. You have to be able to speak that into existence and speak that confidence. You have to have that confidence in whatever it is you do. Even if you getting up in the morning, you got to have confidence with you getting up in the morning and getting yourself together. You got to have confidence when you're driving in your car and you're trying to figure out what your day is going to be like. You have to have confidence. Your kids need to be able to see you exude confidence so they can exude confidence. If they see you being just a lazy sack of shit and you just kind of just leaning over all the time and bad posture and looking like woe is me and all boo-boo in the face, then you're gonna get that. Your kids are gonna feel that energy, and they're gonna think that's cool for them to be able to do too. And so I had to kind of understand that too. But again, going back to the if and the when, those are like the fakest goal. The if is the fakest goal that you could possibly have. The real ones are just identifying what the need is, devising a process or a path to get to what you need, achieving the objective, and leveraging it to cycle the process again and again with elevated stakes. What I call making the donut. I make that statement all the time. When you learn how to do something and you learn how to do it really, really well, and you learn that process and it becomes just without thinking, dribbling without looking at the ground, you can do that. Go on with your left hand to bring it into sports, sports basketball analogies. When you're able to do that, it allows you to be able to advance. So that means that, you may want to put chocolate sprinkles on the donut. You may want to put, chocolate chips on it. You may want to put glaze on it. You may want to put glaze on the donut. Then you might want to, freak it and make some old fashioned glazed donuts or some apple fritters or something like that. The process of making the donut does not change, but it's up to you to be able to elevate it as much as possible and make those changes to keep it exciting. And that's part of the whole thing in regards to what your goals are and what your beliefs are and how you can elevate what it is that you do. You can't just do the same process over and over again and just be stuck in that same process, because you're going to get not only the same results, but you're not going to elevate. So just finding a way to be able to do that. The most important thing too also is just building a team that's aimed at getting at your North Star. You have to have the right people around you. They may not be processes or people that do processes for you, but they have to have the right energy. They have to have the right motivation. They have to be the ones to challenge you. They have to be the ones to bring you up. Y'all elevate each other. Let's push each other to get to this. What is our goal? Your goal is this. My goal is that. Okay, I'm your accountability person for that. We're gonna push through it. And just building a team. You're a coach. You're a coach of a football team. You can't just be the coach of a football team. You have to make sure that you have the right coordinators, the right staff, the right training staff, the strength and conditioning coaches. You have to have the right people in the right places to focus on the things that you don't have the scope to be able to take care of. As a head coach, you are over everything. You need a great offensive coordinator to take care of the offense. You need a great defensive coordinator to take care of the defense. You need great special teams coach to take care of the special teams. You need position coaches to even drill down on that. You need a cornerbacks coach or a defensive backs coach. You need a linebackers coach. You need a defensive line coach. You need all of these things in order for you to be able to achieve your North Star. And if you have those things in process and you have those things you have those things in place and you have those people in place, then it's easier to do that. It allows you to be able to focus because Sometimes we think we can just do everything. I have that really, really bad. I was like, okay, well, I can record the pod, I can edit it, I can record my music, I can engineer it, I can I can market it, I could put it out, I could. You trying to do all of that, you're gonna be a jack of all trades and a master of none. Very rarely do people master all of those things and able to do those all at very high levels. Some people had a capacity to do that, but a lot of times there's going to be things and deficiencies that you have. You're going to have some things that you're light at. You may not be the best at promoting. So you need somebody to be able to do the marketing portion for you. You may not be the best at mixing and mastering. So you got to get somebody to be able to mix and master for you. You may not be the best at editing. You need to get somebody for editing. It's just understanding what those roles and principles are that you have that you can hand off to somebody else, and they don't mind because they see it in you. They see where you're going and they believe in you. All of these movements that start, you see all of these people out here that's making it happen. They have a team around them they have built. You look at a LaRussell, you look at Russ, you look at these people that are doing these things. You look at a Kai Cenat, you look at these people that are doing these things. It's not just them. There are people behind the cameras. There are people that are making sure that they have things locked up in certain areas, and they built a team to be able to make them better. And you have to be able to build a team. You can't do it all yourself. I know we just in that era where everybody thinks that they just are Swiss Army knife and they can do it all, but you can't. You need to be able to have multiple people do multiple things for you and to be able to assist and to carry the areas that you can't carry. Finding those folks to play the position. A lot of times you get people that come in, they say, hey, I'm down. I want to roll with you. But they're really thinking about themselves and how they're going to elevate themselves. You cannot run two things parallel at the same time like that. You have to make sure you're dedicated 100%. If you are going to be a part of the team, be a part of the team and do your job. Focus on your job. If you're doing your job half-ass and then you're focused on getting your own shit off and you're trying to work these things in unison, it's not going to work. Pay your dues, take care of what needs to be taken care of, and you're going to get it back. People are going to turn around and focus on you right after you focused on them. You have to be able to not only trust the process, but trust the people that you're dealing with. Y'all came up. They know. The people that know you're there or know you're talented, they understand that. And they want to be able to help you win. But at this particular time, you have a particular set of skills that need to be applied at this situation to help elevate one so we can elevate all. Then the other thing is you have to be able to sell out to make shit happen. You got to be able to be full bore, dedicated to a situation and just sell out. Give it your everything. Work like tomorrow ain't promised. And with us having so many things that we have to do, we have families, we have friends, we have other interests, we have kids. It's hard to be able to be in that kind of just balls to the wall, just go for it mentality when you have all these things. But that can be your motivator. You can look at your kids and be like, man, I need to go get it. You can look at your wife and say, man, I need to go get it for them. I need to go get it for them. Not only that, I need to go get it for myself. I deserve this. I need this. I'm about this. And you have to put yourself in a position to be able to get there. And once you create that mindset and you create that constant energy and you sell out, you know how it feels to work yourself past exhaustion and knowing what it takes to even get to that point. Now you're building endurance. You know that you can push it. You know that you can push it past the limit. So you're building up your endurance. Each time you can go further. It's like you take a run. You go run. Sometimes you run half a mile and you conk out. Then you run, a quarter mile and then you conk out. And then you run a whole mile and then you conk out. And then you run a mile and a half. And then you go, damn, I can run a mile and a half. I can run 2. Oh, I can run 2 miles. I can run 5. Then you create that endurance and training your body and training your mind to be able to excel past being tired and get to your goal. You can focus on that and get there. Um, Another thing that hinders us a lot is just learning the fucking business. Whatever it is that you have to do, you have to learn the business that's involved in it. There's business in everything. Even the things that you want to do, stuff you love, you can't just be rap guy. You can't just be podcast guy. You can't just be basketball guy. You have to learn the business of what it is that you're into. If you love something, learn the business right along with it. For one, to be able to watch over and count your coins in case you have somebody that's counting your coins for you, so you can watch what the hell they doing. Because if you just say, "Oh, you're an accountant, let me pay you to be my accountant," and they know that you don't know shit, and they just robbing you and skimming off the top, and you don't understand, and then you get down 5, 6 years later and look around, and all of a sudden you coming up short on money. You get another accountant, they look and they say, "Hey man, you've been getting robbed you've been getting robbed these last 6 years. What's going on?" You don't need to be in that situation. And you can get out of that situation, get out of being in that situation by learning the business. Learn the business of what goes on. If you're in music, learn your publishing, learn your copyrights, learn your splits, learn everything that you can learn about how this stuff works. So that way you can be able to maximize the money that you're getting for what you do. Because sometimes if you're out here and you're just creating and you think that somebody's just going to walk up and hand you a check because you was creating, that's not how it works. You have to not only put in the time to create, you have to put in the time to be able to get your good business sense together and have your ducks in a row in regards to that, to not only protect yourself, but to build for yourself. If you take yourself serious and you conduct business the way that you need to conduct business, then people will follow you and people will respect you when it comes to that. He about his business. He stands on business, as the kids say nowadays. As long as you're doing that, you create an opportunity for people to see you in a different light. Because there's got to be a time where, the spotlight turns off and the books come out. I need to know what's going out. I need to know what's coming in. I need to understand what my tax situation is. I got to understand how to write my shit off. I got to understand these type of things that go along with being the CEO of yourself. If you're doing anything you do, you have to know what's going on as far as the books and as far as the business is concerned. If you don't know either one of those things, you will continue to spin your wheels and you're going to get robbed and you're going to get your feelings hurt a lot. And that shit happens more than anybody would ever know. There's, basics again, just like I said, monetizing, protecting your IP, making sure that you monetize properly, make sure that you, again, ASCAP, BMI, those things are very important, publishing, all that stuff. And then spinning off of that, figure out what the tools are that you need to learn and which you need to master. There are tools that you need to learn to be able to have functional job knowledge of. And then there's things that you need to master so that way you can take something else off of your plate. That's what gives you the opportunity to be able to do that once you learn the mastery of things. It's like if you fly in a kite and you cut the string and you hope the kite comes back. That's how it is when you don't apply your tools and master the things that you need to master in order for you to be great. You just going, okay, well, I'm a half-ass do this, cut the kite string, the kite will come back down in a minute. No, it's not. It's gone. You get a new piece of equipment, just for example, new piece of music equipment, you'll get a plug-in. How much of a disservice are you doing yourself by not learning all the ins and outs to get the most out of your investment? How many times have we done that? How many times we bought a piece of equipment and don't learn all the ins and outs of that equipment? We learn enough to just be a little functional, learn how to press some buttons, learn how to turn some knobs, maybe learn a couple of cool little tricks off of YouTube, but we don't learn the basics, pillar to post, flip it inside and out, and understand what it does. Because when you do that, again, it allows you to be able to make the donut any way that you want to make it once you learn the process of making the donut, which is learning that piece of equipment, which is learning that plugin, which is learning editing software, which is learning any of those things, which is learning how to record. All of these things take time and they take effort, they take energy, and they take patience to be able to learn it. And I know it's hard, but we still have to be able to find a way to get that done. And the same goes, for learning creator outlets. It's you take the time to go to school, you take the time to learn things, and we want to fast forward past things that we think we know. We're too stupid to listen and try to figure out new ways, even though it's long math. We don't want to listen to the long math. Oh, we already know that. We already know that. Sometimes the long math has the key to you being able to be successful and to analyze why a certain part's not working or why something you could be able to tweak more because you know the long math on it. And what I mean by long math is the long way to be able to do these things. The step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, so on and so on. You're not just going step 1 and then jumping all the way to step 6. It's like you putting together the furniture. You put together the furniture and you start getting impatient by looking at all the steps and you go, well, shit, this looks like I can just put this here. And then you put it there and all of a sudden what happens? You built the desk and there's a backwards leg on it or a backwards piece. Then you have to rip the shit apart and start over. You don't want to be able to put yourself in that situation. You want to learn how to do the basics and learn the steps of things, even though that's hard and even though that takes patience. You still want to be able to do that. The tools, engineering, record, mix, master, distribute music, content, all of those things. The problem is just knowing enough to be suitable and not the mastery to be dominant. You want the mastery of it to be dominant. You want to know that I can do this lights out. When you have those things figured out, it makes you a professional. It makes you your 10,000 hours worthy. It makes you stand out because people know that you know all of the rules. We be judging the gauntlet, and we see these producers come in here and they do all of these things. They can do so many things in regards to their production and manipulate shit in fashions that you think it shouldn't be manipulated, and it sounds crazy, but they put in so much time and effort and learn so many things in regards to these tips, tricks, tools, the rights and wrongs, the rules of everything. They've learned that and they know how to apply those principles and bring out the best in the product that they're creating. And that's what you need to do in regards to your stuff. You have to have that same outlook and that same principle. I tell my producer friends a really funny thing is that I tell them, and nobody listens. Really, nobody really listens. Um, and it's hard for me. It's like, dude, you're just a rhymer, and you don't listen to your own advice. But still, knowledge of tools increase the flexibility and creativity, and allows you to be able to adapt and change and solve problems when folks ask for certain things. For example, it's cost effective for you to be able to learn an application of auto-tune because everybody's asking for it. Paying clients are asking for it, and learning the process will equal money. Learning how to mix and learning how to master properly is learning a process that will equal money. People pay for these type of services. So if they pay for those services, wouldn't it benefit you to learn it to the max so that way you can get the max dollar out of it? And you can get more services that way because people, the word of mouth to get around and your promotion to get around, and then people will hear your stuff and be like, oh, how did you do that? Who did that for you? Oh, I did it. Okay, cool. Let me come through and end up paying you for the work. I tell my producer friends all the time, fund your tools. In order to fund your tools, get you a template. Find industry production that's in demand. find quick and painless ways to mass produce it for sale. Fuck your pride, man. Make a pseudo name if you want to sell those beats, to fund your shit to be real. It's like, if you think that, I'm not learning this goofy new wave shit as far as to be able to sell these tracks, you crazy. I'm learning to write it. My rhymes showcase integrity, but at the same time, it's like providing that service is a separate arm. That's a separate arm of the company. That may be a arm of the company that you don't even know that's mine or can't even see. I'm not going to wear that. It's going to be out there. That's not being fake. That's just understanding where your needs are and finding a way to be able to fund what it is that you do. It's easy. Figure those things out. Attract those clientele. Use them to fund what it is that you need to do. It's Bruce Wayne and Batman. Bruce Wayne funds all the shit for Batman to do that he really want to do as a vigilante. Batman couldn't do none of that shit without Bruce Wayne. Right? You need to have the Bruce Wayne situation in order for you to do Batman shit. You got to. So that may mean you doing something that's a little bit different, that's off the grid from what you normally do, but you still got to do it. I want to be able to, one of my goals is to be like to pay for and fund everything that I'm doing. If I'm doing shit and my money's coming back to be able to fund the things that I'm doing, I won. Then I can step up and do something else. I'm not setting my goal, and that's not what my end goal is. It's one of my goals and steps to be able to go exceed past that. I want to be a millionaire. I want to be a multimillionaire. I want to be a billionaire. I want to be all of that. But in the short-term goal, I want to be able to make enough money to be able to fund things that I'm doing without going into my pocket again to pay for it. I can go through the people that I know that are supporting my stuff, that are funding my stuff, and I can use that to fund what it is that I do. And they may be different. That may be different things. That may be selling studio time. That may be writing. That may be engineering. Regardless of what it is, that money can go back and to be able to pay for these platforms that I'm using and pay for, things that promotion, all that type of stuff. You have to think of it in that sense and leave your pride at the door. We get hung up and it's like the artistic integrity shit is like, okay, that's nice, but you can have the artistic integrity that you want, still be you, but over here on the side to be able to do the Bruce Wayne shit, to fund the Batman shit. Period. All right. I think that is going to wrap it up for today. Thank you so much for joining me for the Plain Black Rapper podcast. I hope that you enjoyed all of the content. I tried to make sure that I keep the energy level up today. We'll see y'all. Difficult roads often lead to most beautiful destinations. Shoot your shot, go for the win. You might make it. Peace.